change the title here. Not one I meant to type in. Yeah, I'm just doing my normal checks here. Don't know why it's not bookmarked. Okay, awesome. I see it on here now. Okay, I just posted on the community tab. I don't know why it's not coming through. It's so weird. Does this hook up to, if I do it this way, does it connect to the stream at all? Or does this link work? But yeah, everything should be in place now. Hey everyone, glad you could all join us here tonight. We're here. It's been a whole week of Big Brother. Now we're here on eviction night. I should probably get into the actual chat now so I can actually see what's happening here. I'll just minimize that. Yep. Hey Squilliam, hey Ace, hey AJ. Welcome to the stream. Need Amy and Kelly to stay. Zay can go. Yeah, I think I'm fine with Zay going. Like, I am expecting him to win the Blockbuster comp tonight, but yeah, I think I'd be fine with Zay going at this point. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like now at this point, like we're a week into the season. I got my whole power ranking after week 1 that came out the other day. I will say that for the most part, my views on these players haven't changed that much. I probably would have Zay a bit lower, especially now that it seems like there's a shot he goes home, or at least a serious shot he goes home if he doesn't win the Blockbuster. And then I probably would have Will also a little bit higher. I still have concerns about Will later on in the game. I mean, it does seem like he's improved his position. Like, it does seem like he's actually like finding himself into alliances, like with the Burger Bros and sort of working with the woman. But it does seem like he's kind of like, I feel like he's like just hoping for like an easy night here where Zay just wins and he can just vote out Kelly. But I will say that it does seem like we're in for some interesting scenarios, regardless of like who ends up winning and like what final 2 we get on the block here. Who do I want to go home? Again, I think Zay probably be my first pick. I mean, Zay winning would be fine. Like, it's not the worst in the world either way. Like, I do think regardless, it does seem like we're getting set to an interesting vote here. But I think Zay is probably the person I personally would want to see to go home the most. After that, probably Kelly. I think Kelly would have. I think it'd be a pretty funny downfall for her to go home after she volunteered for the block. And yes, like she didn't like volunteer to go up after the veto, but it's like it is sort of funny like the way that she would be going out here. Not to mention the way that she's played across this week. So probably Zay, then Kelly, and then Amy's for other person. I mean, if Amy went home, it'd be just kind of whatever. That's kind of where I stand there. Do you think Zay should have been expelled? I mean, at the point where like, I mean, we saw, I believe, was it Jared 2 seasons ago? Obviously, Jared like said that word, and they didn't do anything there. So like, obviously, at the point where Zay ended up saying it too, it didn't shock me that that production like that they decided to like withhold. I guess to like have the same ruling when it comes to that, but I think they probably should have, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, though, I mean, Tuesday's credit, like he does at least acknowledge that, like he shouldn't be saying it. Like, but at the same time, it's like, why are you saying it to begin with? So it's like, I don't know. So it's like, I feel like he probably definitely should have gotten reprimanded in some way. Like, I don't know, like if it warranted an expulsion, but I think like considering like the precedent that had been set with Luke, I think they definitely should have taken a harder stance when it came to that issue. So it's like I feel like in general, Big Brother production is like very they're not very consistent when it comes to these sorts of rulings. I feel like if you're gonna rule one way, then you should definitely be more consistent. And I do think them expelling Luke 2 seasons ago was the right decision. So with that, I think they probably should have extended the same thing. So like again, I don't think Zay regrets it. I made it clear he says that how the show and so let's say, yeah, I do think like the like watching the actual clip of it, like I believe like Keanu was there with him and he was like, "Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing it's late at night and like the cameras weren't watching." It's like I don't know. Like I think that probably wasn't the definitely not a great look to say the least. Like I don't think it's definitely I don't think it's a learning. I don't think the way Keanu reacted to that like really lent itself to a learning experience. So I hope he never says it again, but if he does, then I think that would be very unfortunate. Um, any chance for another twist to be revealed tonight? Any predictions? I didn't hear about any. I didn't hear about any like new things coming into the game. Like, I mean, from what I understand, like I think it's just gonna be like a pretty normal like eviction round. And in the process, like nothing new will be really introduced. Like I feel like they'll probably wait a couple more weeks before they actually decide to throw something else out there. Like it'd be kind of weird, like if they did something like 2 weeks in a row. I mean, unless I missed something, then I don't. I'm not expecting them to introduce anything new tonight. So from what I understand, like I guess we can like go through each of the scenarios here. So it does seem like at this point Amy's probably the safest out of these three. Like it does seem like at this point there is a very solid push to keep Amy in regardless of who she's up against. Now it's still going to be a tight vote. Like I think if Amy's on the whoever is on the block like after the BB blockbuster, I think it's definitely going to be definitely a tight vote. Like I'm not expecting it to be unanimous unless it's like the likes of like Zach or Will like get the sense that it's not going to go their way, and then for the process, I could definitely see it steamrolling or snowballing, but I doubt there'll be anything either. I don't know. Yep. Oh yeah, like I'm sure the mastermind is going to come back at some point. Like obviously, it's like the mastermind is supposed to be like the next coming of like Ainsley, and like they want to have like this season long story arc that's told through like the twists and through like the competitions and stuff. So I'm definitely expecting the mastermind to do more stuff. You are the mastermind, obviously. But so from what I understand, I guess like we can pull up the chart here. So from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. So if it's Amy versus Kelly, which is probably the most likely scenario right now, as the assumption is that Zay is the most likely to win the Blockbuster. I'm guessing like you obviously have like the locked votes for to keep Amy around. So you have obviously you have Rachel, you have Morgan, you have Mickey, you have Ava. I believe Ava is like solidly pro Amy at this point. You have on the other side, you have Keanu, you have I believe Riley will be a vote to evict Amy. Though did Riley change his mind? Like, did he I thought I heard that Riley was like probably like voting with Lauren. Like I was kind of busy today, so I didn't get the chance to like fully like look into like everything. But I believe Jimmy at this point is also like a vote for Kelly. I think Adrian probably votes out Kelly, I think. Yeah, so like I think at the end of the day, I think the votes are there to evict Kelly, but like I think there could be some votes to take out Amy in the process. I do think the Zay one would be a bit more interesting. Do you think if Kelly goes, she's the worst of the season? Oh yeah, like I think Kelly's definitely like if she goes out tonight, she'll be at the bottom of the player ranking. Like I think there's enough bad there between her volunteering for the block, the fact that Vince put her up despite it not even making sense for him to do so, and the fact that Vince is just so willing to let her go. Like I think that's pretty bad. And with Vince essentially being like her only true connection in the game, like where it's like no one else really cares about Kelly. I think there's definitely a serious argument for Kelly being like the worst of the season. And I've also heard people online talking about how like there's an argument for her being like a top 10 worst player, which I definitely like would probably subscribe to, especially if she goes out here. Checking like I'm just seeing like if there's been any other like news today about news from today. Oh, so I guess there was an interview from there's an interview by from Julie today by Sharon Tharp. She says the shower was only 30 minutes. So we already knew from the live feeds that the shower wasn't that long. Like I heard it was like only like 15 minutes or something like that, but it's like it was definitely like way shorter than like 2 hours as they said on the show, which is kind of funny. Okay. So it's seeming like if it's Amy versus Zay, then Zay probably goes home, I think. I think if it's Amy versus Kelly, then Kelly goes home. And then if it's Kelly versus Zay, I think Kelly versus Zay might be interesting because it's like there's obviously like momentum to keep Zay, but it's like no one's really fighting to keep Kelly around. So I think that I don't know, maybe it could be a bit interesting there. But obviously, like it'll all come down to like what happens in the comp. So okay, there was an article written about the Zay stuff. But the only thing she actually had, I think Kelly is probably just behind Jen from BB9. Like the only thing she has that she at least had some allies. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, granted, some of that was forced by like the fact that she had Parker there as like her like duo in the game, but it's like, yeah, I think Kelly is like pretty bad. She's like all the bad things of Matt and all the bad things of Lisa. Top 10. Is she really like the bad stuff of Matt? I mean, because like I feel like the thing with Matt was that Matt was like overplaying and like trying to like essentially take over Angela's HOH. I feel like Kelly's probably just like a worse version of Lisa, if I had to guess. Zay needs. Yeah, like it is looking like Zay will go home at this point if he doesn't win the blockbuster. Kelly did not isolate people like Jen did. I mean, yeah, she didn't, but like at the same time, it's like no one like really like cares for Kelly either. So it's and on top of that, like I think her read on the house is also like obviously not fully there. As she thought she would have the votes to stay until after the veto meeting. Does she have a solid backing? Like, I feel like it's more so like pro. Like, I feel like it's more so like people are voting in relation to other people. Like in this, if Kelly does end up staying or going, then I feel like because like I feel like if it's like Amy versus Kelly, for example, like I feel like the votes there will be pro Kelly. I mean pro Amy, I should say. If it's Kelly versus Zay, then I think that will be like an anti Zay vote. Like if Zay ends up going out there, so it's like it's sort of a weird spot because like no one like cares for Kelly. And it's like whatever happens to her, it'll basically like a vote to keep Kelly or a vote to take out Kelly. Will either be a vote for another person or against another person. So it's like no one's like voting for Kelly to stay or go. Also, she plans to throw the Blockbuster to Zay and then have a speech for relationship with Rachel. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it's like, yeah, like Kelly did talk about throwing the Blockbuster, which is also pretty bad. And obviously, it's like it's just gonna lean more into like Amy like needing to win it. Yeah, this is probably like one of the more chaotic like first evictions in a while. Like especially like in the lead up to like the Blockbuster. And obviously, it'll be like interesting to see like what ends up happening with the actual vote here. But we are now a little under 10 minutes away from the start of the show. Yeah, I'm guessing it's gonna be like a 9-5 or like maybe like an 8-6. Is it gonna be 8-6? I'm leaning towards like 9-5. Like yeah, yeah, like definitely in that range. Like I feel like regardless, like there will be like people like to voting like there's definitely people that are standing their ground here, which is obviously going to make for an interesting situation here. I don't think the guys would fight hard to keep Kelly over Amy. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see like the likes of a Zach, like for example, like really like if it's like Amy versus Kelly, I could definitely see them like giving up this fight because it's like at the end of the day, it's like you're keeping Kelly around. It's like what's Kelly really doing for you? Hey, Fandomizer, welcome to the stream here. I should probably turn on the show now since we are just a couple minutes away from the start. So I'm hoping to use my cable app tonight. So that way I'm not like insanely far behind and it is crashing out on me. Do I need to update it? I mean, I have, what? Yeah, I should probably update it. Hopefully, it doesn't kick me out of my login and stuff. That'd be annoying. I mean, I do have Paramount Plus as a backup, but it's like I know it's gonna be behind, so I'm hoping I don't have to use that. Let's hope this works this time. Awesome. Yeah, I just had to update the app. Okay, let's turn on Jeopardy. I think Adrian, Zach, Zay, Riley, and Keanu probably keep Kelly, but they wouldn't really be pro Kelly. They'd just be anti Amy. I mean, they probably would be because obviously, like the main argument to get rid of Amy is to weaken Rachel. But it's like if they know that the numbers aren't there to keep Kelly, then I don't think they're gonna fight that hard. I think they're probably just gonna let Kelly go and like fight another day essentially. That's what I think. That's what it's leaning towards at this point. This cast is more interesting on the gameplay than BB26 so far. I'd say it's probably around the same level. Like I think the problem is like even though like more people have been playing in recent days, like we've seen like Ava play a bit more, we've seen Adrian play a bit more. I mean, they're still like because you still have like people like Riley who hasn't really done that much. Even Zay has not really fought as hard as I think he probably should have. And then you have Rachel. Like I think you would have expected Rachel to be like a much bigger presence on the season. Maybe not a good player, but at least a bigger presence. But I feel like Rachel has kind of been like a back burner so far. But outside of her fight with Keanu last night, which is obviously a lot of fun, but I feel like I would have expected Rachel to like be more of a presence up to this point than what she ended up being. I think Rachel could be in like a Dan BB14 position. I personally don't see it. Like I can see where it's coming from, where it's like the whole thing with Rachel is that it doesn't seem like she's likely to win a jury vote. Like we have heard people in the house talking about how she's already won, how they don't want to give her the win again, and obviously like there's similarities to that, and you can argue that people want to drag her through the game because of that. I just don't think people are even going to do that. Like I think I would expect her to be like a target within the next few weeks. So it's like unless she's really able to turn things around and like really solidify the likes of Amy or Jimmy behind her, then I don't think she's going to be that long for the game at this point. And honestly, like now with the knowledge that like people like aren't looking to reward her with the win, like I think I'm probably going to be even lower on Rachel on the next week's power ranking. Wasn't there talk of her getting a fight with Vince today? I haven't heard about her fight with Vince. I heard about her fight with Keanu last night. I haven't heard much about the Vince front. 100% think she's gonna be targeted, but so was Dan. Yeah, but I don't think Rachel's gonna get around it. Like I think this cast like is looking at Rachel as like this mastermind, and I think they're gonna be less likely to let her get away, like at the point where she is targeted. And I don't think Rachel herself is going to be able to get herself out of a hole like the way Dan was. So even though I think there are similarities there, I don't think Rachel's going to have the ability to get around her target the way that Dan was. Vince played so poorly as HOH, but somehow he's not the number one target from the house, and he still has decent allies. He does. Like, I think I would still say he was at least somewhat benefited by the fact that he was the first HOH, and through that people were forced to talk to him. And I think that's a major reason why like he is like included. And obviously that's at least one benefit to come out of his HOH. But I think it's just gonna be a question now of like how much of a factor is gonna be now that he's gonna be out of power next week. Like, is he gonna be able to like have like that same input now that he's like someone who could be targeted? And obviously a lot of that will come down to who wins HOH. Like if someone like Zach wins HOH, then I can definitely see Vince like at least being okay within that. Maybe not Rachel, obviously. Rachel winning HOH probably wouldn't be the best for him, but I think the more I think about it, I think there are definitely plenty of HOH results where Vince will be fine, like at least from a game front. Like not even if it's not being targeted, like it's definitely like him, like at least having some input. And obviously, like and I think especially if Kelly goes, then I think they'll definitely have to like force him to like have to play a bit more. And in the process, like who knows if he's able to like build something more for him. I think Rachel this season has been weird. I actually say so far this is her best appearance, but she's just such a big target. Um, I don't know. Like I think she was probably in a better position on BB13. Like even though that was a season where she was kind of given a majority alliance right off the bat. I don't know. Like I do think if I think Amy going would probably be pretty bad for her though. So I think the fact that that's again to be fair, that's probably not as big of a possibility at this point. But I don't know. I think she was still probably in a better position at this point in BB13. But anyway, uh, the show is actually starting now on my end, which is probably a good sign here that I'm not going to be that far behind. Anyway, show starting now. I should close the games. All right, we're getting the recap right now. As a player, not her positioning. I mean, she's definitely like for the most part a cooler head. So take that for what you will. J Bone. Yeah, I'm still pretty underwhelmed by the Jimmy's veto speech. Like, I mean, I feel like he was really hyping it up before the veto meeting, but then actually seeing it, like, I don't know, it felt really scripted. I don't know, it didn't really hit the way I thought it would. All right, they're hinting at the Zay, Zay, Rachel fight. Anywho, recap's done. We're getting now to Julie. Good evening. I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Welcome to Brig Brother. On a week one ranking, where do you rank this? I think the hard thing is that we just didn't really get to see like a lot of the feeds during week one, so I think that definitely harms it. I wish there was, and I think also it'll be impacted by like who actually goes home here, because like I feel like if Amy goes out, like as unlikely as that is, like I'd probably be underwhelmed. I'd say I think I would say like BB14 is my favorite week one. Like just seeing like the complete rise and fall of Willie Hance, like the fact that it's a blind side, and it's like I'd probably still go with BB14 is my favorite week one, but I feel like those BB20, BB26, but first, I'd probably still go with those ones above this one, but this is definitely like a good week one. I don't know if it's my favorite though. Anyway, we're getting now to the actual show. Kelly's not taking well to getting put up. Again, just your standard standard opening to the show, the post veto fallout. Anywho, we're going to the bathroom now. We have a convo with Rachel, Adrian, Amy, and Rachel's the focus right now. Anyway, maybe they're showing the flashback of Jimmy telling Rachel about his plan to make the speech. Do you think Rachel herself thinks her game is overrated? I don't know if she thinks it's overrated. I think she looks at her win as pretty good. So now we have Keanu talking to Vince. Keanu's asking Vince about Jimmy throwing out his name. I guess so. Anyway, now more Keanu. Keanu looks like Keanu's gonna talk with Jimmy over here. I think maybe. Yep, we're seeing Jimmy and Keanu smooth things over. We saw this after the feeds came back. Yep, they're playing they're showing Jimmy being like, "Oh, I don't, sorry, not sorry." Anyway, that happened. And now we are getting seen here with Vince and Kelly. Yep. Oh, gee. Seems like you put yourself in quite the predicament, Vince. Maybe you shouldn't have put up Kelly to begin with, but what do I know? Anyway, we're going to commercial now. Anyway, we're getting more set up to this Rachel Zay fight over here. But yeah, we're currently in a commercial here. Nothing fully has happened yet. Julie's comment made me laugh. Yeah, it was a bit on the awkward side. So yeah, currently we're a commercial here, waiting for the BB Blockbuster, which is mostly when things are gonna turn up here. Probably gonna get one more segment on the show, like really hyping up this Zay Rachel fight. And then we're gonna get to the actual eviction here. Hey Nichelle, how are you doing? Glad you could join us here tonight. Who do you think's winning the BB Blockbuster? Again, I think Zay's clearly the most likely winner. I think you would assume he'd be the favorite against the likes of Kelly and Amy. Though obviously it also depends a lot on what the comp actually is. I mean, we did also see Zay do pretty well at DeVito yesterday, where we knew from the feeds that he came in second, but like seeing like it being like this sort of memory comp, like I think that definitely showed like that Zay is probably favored in this, but again, we'll have to see what happens. I guess now I can just update the games and everything. Morgan. Good. Bryce, Jimmy Lord, Murray, I already have that. Gargan made one last change here. Lauren, Vicky. Anyway, we're getting more 49 stuff here. Do you think Zach at one of the power ranking has aged well? I'd still stand by. Like I still think Zach is playing pretty well for the most part here. We're back from commercial now. Okay. Anyway, looks like guessing this is the Burger Bros coming together. All right. Yep. All right. Looks like we're getting the formation of the Burger Bros. guess. That's quite the analogy there, Zay. Oh, I guess it's Burger Boys, not Burger Bros. So, okay, we got that. Now we got Jimmy and Kelly talking. Anyway, now we're getting more Kelly sucks content of showing just how much of a goober Kelly is. Why she deserves to go home. Anywho, you have more Kelly regretting her decisions here. Wasn't she like happy when wasn't she initially happy like when she was put up? Like I believe it was like a day afterwards where it really sunk in. But like she was like talking about how she was gonna throw the blockbuster and everything. Anyway, now Vince is talking to Kelly again. That's good to know. That's good to know. He feels bad for putting up Kelly. What a shame. Maybe. Anywho, now we're getting more mastermind stuff. Oh no! Oh no! Imagine if someone woke up and saw this. So I guess the mastermind. I guess you just took something. And we're getting Amy and Rachel talking about the guys working together. Probably starting to galvanize numbers. All right, we're getting Morgan talking about wanting Zagon. All right. Okay, we have Morgan doing a bit of campaigning here with Will and Mickey. We know that Will is one of the swing votes in this potential vote. Yeah, now they're showing Zay playing chess again. Was that the chess game where Zay said the word? Anyway, now we're getting more game talk with all these women. They gotta take out Zay. So now we're getting some setup to this fight here. We have Zay catching on to what Rachel's doing. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. We have Zay now trying to talk to Keanu over here. We have Rachel entering. Yeah, they're really hyping up this fight here. It is funny like how awkward Zay is during this whole exchange here. Yeah, it is looking like Amy's like the most likely to stay of these three, regardless of who they're up against. Well, kind of continuing the beef here. You are kind of making the beef over here. I don't think it is. Like they haven't they don't normally they don't normally do the HOH comp on feeds. Like they'll only do it for like the wall or like the pressure cooker. So feeds are down right now. They're probably gonna come back on later tonight where we'll already know who won. Anyway, we're getting more of this fight over here. Isn't this so exciting? Praying for a Rachel HOH. Anyway, we're about to go to commercial here. Looks like we're getting a quiz comp from what it looks like over here. So, really, anyone could win this. Is it a quiz comp? I mean, there's like other props here. So, I mean, it does, but it's like they show like all that other like stuff, like the desks and stuff. So it's like it makes me think like, are they gonna have to like run around? Are they like gonna have to run around and like lock stuff in? I mean, I hope it's. I mean, obviously a quiz comp would probably be the most equitable, but we will see what it is. Anyway, we're currently a commercial here. Once we get back, we're gonna get straight into the BB Blockbuster here. As I've mentioned before, it does seem like it does seem like Amy's the most safe of this three. And it's really a question over whether Zay or Kelly will go out. I would say that Zay has a very real shot going home if he does not win this comp here. Which, if it is a quiz comp, then obviously that makes things a bit more equitable. Like, it makes it less likely to win. On the other hand, if there is like a physical component to it, like where we did see like some like a pretty big like area where the comp is. Like, if they're gonna have to be moving around, then that obviously will give Zay the advantage. So like how big that is, he'll have to see. Notes. This episode is an hour, just an hour, 60 minutes. Yeah, I believe last Thursday was 90 minutes. That was just like a one-off thing. Same thing with the Sunday episode. I think after moving forward, like we are gonna get 60-minute episodes on Thursdays and Sundays, with just the Wednesday episode being 90 minutes. But yeah, this is just supposed to be 60 minutes. Alright, they're showing like this bumper. They're showing the live feed thing. Hopefully this means we're about to get back from commercial. Okay, we are back from commercial here. Time to get to the BB Blockbuster. Okay. I'm just gonna be turning down the comments so I'm not spoiled. Okay, she did not volunteer twice, Julie. Let's be clear. She only volunteered once. All right, Julie's talking to them right now. Okay, so they're just gonna be like watching the walls and stuff. Okay, so this is a pretty, again, seems like a purely mental comp over here. Wait. Okay, so they do have to move around a little bit, but it is a mostly mental comp. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, the comp has started. Now they had to watch out for these words here, and they had to figure it out and find an object over here. All right, so right now they're just studying the wall. We're seeing different letters popping up over what the word might be. Zay is like in the middle of the room, while Kelly and Amy, they're kind of going off to the right. No indication of anyone picking up on the object yet. Yeah, I don't think this makes for the greatest TV, like, because we're not supposed to, like, I believe, yeah, they showed, like, the violin and, like, the intro and stuff, but it's like Zay's holding, like, a tiara. He thinks it might be the tiara, but he's not fully sure. Kelly! Okay. It's just over. Kelly has won the competition. It is now off the block. That was anticlimactic. Okay. We have our final set of nominees over here. This is pretty exciting. All right, if you are just joining us, Kelly has won the BB Blockbuster, has taken herself off the block. And it is now between Amy and Zay. I hope Zay goes. Personally, me too. Like at this point, like I think it'd be a pretty fun outcome. All right, let's see what Discord is saying. But yeah, like the competition was like over very quickly. It's like, yeah, it's like we had Zay holding like the tiara thing, and then Kelly just like went over like, and it was just over like that. Yeah, I found that pretty funny. Oh my god, so many messages. All right, we're currently a commercial here. We're probably gonna get another commercial break during the actual vote, but it is looking like Zay is probably gonna be the first boo of the season. I feel like there's enough momentum in that direction to where Zay probably goes out here. Obviously, I would assume Vince would be a vote to evict Amy in this case if it came down to a tie, but obviously, I don't think it is going to be a tie. I think the votes will just be there to take out one or the other. But yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, I am kind of glad that Kelly won. Like, obviously, in the sense that it leaves Zay up. Obviously, it leaves Kelly in the game for another round to potentially like screw things up even more. But yeah, should be interesting stuff. Where does Zay rank on a first boot ranking? Probably middle of the road. Like, I don't think he like. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think he was like the. He's obviously like not that bad of a first boot. Like I don't know, like because I think like he was at least trying to like set up a power structure, kind of, even though he wasn't the most active within that. I think if he goes, then it's in spot to where he had a sizable minority behind him. And at least from what we saw, I don't think he did like much actively bad to make himself the target. And I feel like he is going to be taken out here more so to him due to him being like this big physical threat who is just right there on the block to be taken out. But at the same time, it's like I don't think he was like leading much either. So yeah, I'd probably like middle of the road if I had to guess. Yeah, like I think there's definitely merits to Zay's like a first boot and everything. Yeah, we're still a commercial here. Zay being sus as the accomplice put a target on his back. Kind of did. I mean, like obviously, like at the end of the day, it still like kind of comes back to like game stuff, like him like just not like gelling right at the bat. I don't know if I don't know if that was like the sole reason he was put up though. Like it definitely had to like be like a factor, like in the sense that like it was obviously like this easy like person to put up, especially at the point where it's like he was like the second vote getter and it was confirmed that Riley was not the accomplice. But it's like I don't know, like I think we might need a bit more information from like exit interviews and stuff to like fully know the reason because it's like at the end of the day, it's like how much do you I mean how much do people really care about the accomplice like after like the initial twist? Like I mean, because like it's not like the accomplice it's not like the saboteur where it's like you can make the argument that they're doing stuff beyond like the initial like round and stuff. I don't know. I think we just need more information to like know like why exactly Zay was like targeted in the spot that he was. Anyway, it looks like we're about to get back from commercial here. Everyone's gonna get the reactions to Kelly winning the Blockbuster. No, she didn't throw it, to her credit. Like, no, she actually tried. All right. Julie is now announcing the results to them. Yeah, they probably should have worked on this more, like the reveal. Like, it's still kind of anticlimactic. It's just taking up so much time. Yeah, cut the Rachel, cut the Vince, cut the Lauren. Lauren seems really happy. Like, we have we have people coming over to hug her. Zach and Keanu hugged Kelly. Jimmy is hugging Kelly. Okay, let's see how much strategizing there is. We have Rachel talking to Jimmy right now. We have no, that was Zach. No, no, no. Jimmy said I had to keep my word. We have Zach talking to Zay. We have Will talking to Rachel. We have Law focus on Rachel right now. We have Morgan and Catherine going out to the side. We have Zay like making a last second pitch to Keanu, Zach, and Will. Yeah, more focus on Mickey talking to Catherine. Looks like Rachel's just talking to Riley. All right, we have Jimmy. Jimmy just talking to camera. Um, Keanu talking to Lauren. Keanu mentioning Vince having to vote someone out. Keanu said, I'm still assuming Zay's going out here. I mean, again, we did see a couple conversations taking place here. Like, I would assume Zay's going out, but we'll see. Again, I feel like this is still probably like one of the more locked in scenarios. Anywho, Julia just order them back to the couch, and we're now. All right, now we're gonna get to the speeches here. All right, Amy is giving her speech first. All right, now Zay is giving his speech. All right, Zay is going all in on the Rachel pitch. All right, they just finished their speeches. Now it's time for the vote. All right, so Kelly is going to be the first vote. This should be a vote for Amy. Okay, let me just get Kelly up here. Should be a vote for Amy. Yep, not too shocking. All right, getting Rachel. Should be a vote for Zay. Okay. All right, Rachel's a vote for Zay. Not too shocking. We have Zach. This should be an interesting vote. On paper, should be a vote for Amy, though it obviously will depend on what he senses the house is going. All right, Zach is a vote for Amy. All right. Next, we have Riley. Riley is a vote for Zay. It's kind of up in the air, and Julie did make it seem like he'd be a vote to evict Amy based on the Burger Bros, but he did end up voting for Zay here. Next, we have Jimmy. Should be a vote for Zay. All right, Jimmy is a vote for Zay. Next, we have Morgan. Should be another vote for Zay here. Kind of weird how they're stacking the votes here, or they're ordering the votes. Morgan, vote for Zay. Okay. All right, we're going to commercial here. Julie just caught with a hot mic. Talk about the vote count. All right, we're going to commercial here. Currently, it is 4-2 in favor of Zay so far. Nothing too shocking. Like, I do find it weird how they aren't trying to make it like a closer vote, seemingly. But obviously, we still have some Amy votes coming their way. Like, I would expect. Like, obviously, Adrian is still going to be an interesting vote here. I believe Ashley may have flipped her vote to Zay like today. Like, I know like there was a point where it seemed like she was going to vote for Amy just to over Zay, but I heard that Ashley had flipped to Zay. But correct me if I'm wrong. But it is. I would still assume that Zay is going home here because you still have Mickey, who is a pretty solid vote to take out Zay. Ava's another vote to take out Zay as well. And at that point, it's like you obviously have Will, who would be kind of in a weird spot here to take out because obviously Will is part of the Burger Bros, and like I think he would feel like this pressure to like play the middles, and obviously like from Will's perspective, like this is not the ideal scenario for him, as it does force him to have to pick a side between the Mickey Morgan side that he has ties to and the Burger Bros that we know he's a part of at this point. Obviously, Catherine's still a key swing vote here. We did see Mickey talking with her right before the vote happened, doing some last minute campaigning. We'll have to see if it sticks. We have Keanu, who I think is a vote for Amy. I think Keanu is probably anti Rachel at this point. I think Lauren will be another interesting vote here. I think Lauren's probably better getting rid of Amy, but I could definitely see her being pushed to vote out Zay here, especially if the numbers are there. And then you have Adrian, who has been talking about want to keep in these comp beasts. Like he did talk before in his preseason interview about how he wants to take the comp beast deeper into the game. He did talk at one point this week about how he does want to keep someone like Zay around. So I still think there's definitely some interesting votes up in the air. Do you think this is a real blind side? I don't think it's a blind side per se. I think I would assume they're pretty. I would assume people know like that this is going to be like a tight vote either way. But yeah, we are still a commercial here. We are in the middle of the vote here. Zay is currently with 4 votes to evict versus Amy with 2. We still have more votes. I am assuming at this point that Zay will be the first boot of the season. I mean, just looking at the remaining votes, Zay just needs 3 more to go. You have Ava, Mickey, that's pretty locked in. And if I am correct, I think Ashley is also voting to evict Zay. That's already enough. Beyond that, we saw Mickey campaign to Catherine right before the actual vote. And I don't think Catherine has much of a reason to keep Zay around. Beyond that, you have Will, who also has some reason to want to take out Zay here to keep his connection with the likes of Mickey and Morgan. And even if the Burger Bros do break up, as a result of Zay going out, I still think Will may be fine with that. Though obviously it's like it did seem like at a point that he was leaning towards voting out Amy, or at least Kelly for the most part. We are still a commercial here. Okay. All right, I think we're getting back to commercial now. All right, we are back from commercial here. All right. All right, next we have Adrian. This is going to be an interesting vote here. Adrian is a vote. Amy. Not too shocking. 3 votes to evict Amy now. We have Keanu. Could be another vote here for Amy to tie up the numbers. Yep, Keanu is another vote for Amy. We are now at a tied vote here. We have Ashley. We'll see if Ashley has flipped or not. Ashley is a vote for Zay. And it is officially over. Mickey, pretty solid vote for Zay here. All right, Mickey is a vote for Zay. Not too shocking. 6 votes to evict Zay. We have Will. This is another pretty interesting vote here. Where will Will go here? Will is a vote for Amy. It is currently 6-5. We have 3 votes left, all women. Ava should be a vote for Zay here. Ava is a vote for Zay. Zay now has 7 votes. 1 more to evict. Catherine, we saw Mickey campaigning to her right before the vote. Did it work? There you go. Zay is the first boot of the season. Cat votes to evict Zay. And we have Lauren as the last vote. It's not going to matter, though. There we go. Lauren's a vote for Zay. And with that, Zay is the first boot of BB27, being voted out in a 9-5 vote. All right, Julie's announcing the results now. All right. All right, cut to Rachel. Rachel seems pretty pleased with herself here. Zay seems to be taking it pretty well. Cut to Zach. Zach seems pretty disappointed. Understandable. Yeah, Zach is devastated by this. It looks like Riley. Zach is clearly upset by all this. We have Rachel hugging Amy. Yeah, Zach is clearly upset by this. Julie now calling Zay out the house. We only have 5 minutes left. Not even enough time, barely enough time for an interview. All right, everyone's taking a while to say their goodbyes. But yeah, that was a pretty fun vote. I mean, 9-5, first round, pretty good. Yeah, there's barely enough time, though. It's like 5 minutes left. But yeah, I mean, not too shocking. I mean, I did think by the end that Zay was probably going out, which is funny considering Zay was the highest ranked of the nominees on the video, but still only at number 12. Like, wasn't that high. Anyway, I'm gonna update some of the games now. I haven't made the pool page yet. I made the draft page. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly update the draft. Oh, nope, not what I meant to click on. Oh no, someone did pick Zay. That's very how sad that is. I don't know why my screenshot thing isn't working. It's so annoying. Okay. Yeah, there's barely enough time in the episode for the interview here, unless Julia is like asks them like one question and then it's like you'll have to tune in for the rest. All right, we're back now. We're getting to see the eggs interview here. I thought Will was a vote for Zay, but Riley was a vote for Amy. Yeah, it's definitely different from what to expected here. All right, I think he's talking about Vince here. I guess. All right, Julie's asking about the accomplice. Like, that is important. I mean, good on Zay for like calling out Amy for like being like archetype wise similar to Rachel, being a mom and everything. So I guess. Anyway. Love one another. Right. Not too much to say here. Yeah, right now I'm just putting together the pool picks and everything. Yeah, Zach still looks upset. Okay, but yeah, I mean, pretty good episode, all things considered. All right, I should probably look at chat over here. Nothing much. Is Keanu Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, sorry about that. I don't think Zach should be on a play ranking. Oh yeah, like Zach. I think Zay going out is obviously a blow to Zach's game, but obviously we'll have to see what happens with the next HOH. I definitely think, even though losing Zay here is a negative, I still think it's not like a death blow. Like I think Zach could definitely recover from this, but obviously we'll have to see what happens. Like who wins next HOH. We'll see how they respond to everything. But obviously this is a net negative to Zach's game here. I think power. I don't think long term. Again, we're just going to see like what the fallout of all this is, like whether like they'll be able to pick up pieces or not. It's like yes, they are like working with Rachel for now, but it's like I'm not entirely sure like how long this will be able to last because like I feel like you can definitely argue that a lot of the reason why Zay was taken out is because again, like when else are you going to take out someone like Zay? Like who knows is going to be an issue in competitions and stuff. So I don't know. Like I'm not entirely convinced. I don't think this is a positive for Rachel per se either. But it's like again, like there's still like a lot to be determined here. Standard first boot. Oh yeah, like I think he's definitely like in line with like what we saw for like Travis from BB23, for instance. Like these people who were taken out for being like these like threats and everything. Yeah, I think if Kelly goes out next week, she'll probably be below Zay on the player ranking. I think Kelly played this week pretty terribly. I think definitely worse than Zay did this week. But again, we'll see like how long Kelly's able to last in the game. Yep, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think pretty good outcome to this week. Definitely better than Matt. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not hard to beat Matt, I feel like Zay's probably above Matt on a first boot ranking. Yeah, that's another thing I'll give Zay is that he at least campaigned to stay. Like, I think he made a decent campaign. It just wasn't very effective. Any other questions at this time? So obviously he'll be back again next week. We'll obviously see who the next HOH is, what the fallout of all this is, whether anything will solidify. I think at this point, like it even with like this vote being crazy and everything, I still think there's a lot up in the air with the actual like future and like what everything will amount to. Uh, yeah, I think he definitely could have stayed over maybe Kelly. I think it probably would have been a bit closer had it been Kelly on the block instead. But obviously, against Amy, it would have been very tough. I don't think any voting blocks will stick. Oh no, like I'm not expecting these people to come together again next week per se. I'm expecting things to be more solidified as we get more of a power structure because Vince didn't really do much to solidify a power structure. I think at the end of the day, like it was still like things were forming around Vince. I think I definitely played into things. Yeah, like yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Like they very genuinely had a backing by the time it went out. Any other any other thoughts at this time? They basically gets taken out due to be yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like I feel like there aren't that many scenarios where Zay ends up on the block in week one, and I think he just got unlucky that he was on the block and just was right there to be taken out. I don't know if Ashley winning the veto necessarily doomed him. Like it obviously didn't help, obviously, but like I still think he had outs beyond that. Really, just to spite Vince, kind of. Like I think he also gets unlucky as well by like Vince being so bad because it's like I feel like against Keanu, like I think Zay would have had a much easier time staying if Keanu was there on the block, but obviously that didn't fully pan out. Again, I don't. I'm not fully the belief that Showergate was that big of a deal at the end of the day. Like, it obviously like was probably indicative of Ashley like not gelling well with the rest of the house. But I don't think that's the sole reason why she was like put up to begin with. Would Ashley have gone home? Yes, it does. From what we've seen, it does look like Ashley would have been a pretty consensus target had she stayed up in the block, which is obviously a knock to her. But she obviously won the veto. Is this the first time a girls' alliance might actually work? I don't think so because I feel like even though the women, for the most part, voted together, like I still think they're kind of like in different directions because you have like Lauren, for example, like I'm not sure if Lauren fully fits into like the Morgan Mickey crowd. And I feel like Ava is also like, and you also have Catherine who like is kind of like up in the air. I think even with Rachel, like Rachel's kind of on the outs, and I think they're probably just using her for the time being. So I don't think we're getting a women's alliance per se. You obviously have Ashley as well. Like Ashley's just kind of floating around, like and I could definitely see like certain people going in different directions depending on how like other alliances come together. Yeah, like I think you summed it up well. Like I feel like they have different agendas, a lot of them. And I think it's gonna be hard to like keep them together the whole game. But it's like I feel like for this one round, like it was enough of a factor to like get them to vote together. But I'm not expecting this grouping to hold together. What else? Um, I don't know. Like I mean, Rachel is connected to Ashley, like, and maybe that would have maybe a similar thing would have happened, but like I think it would have been harder to like get people to want to keep Ashley around. I actually think it probably would have been more similar to the Kelly Zay scenario, where to be fair, I think Zay probably still goes home there, but I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I mean, I wasn't sure if any of y'all had any other like things you wanted to talk about before we end the stream here. Obviously, I'll be back again next week. I mean, I'll continue to be on Discord and all that, going through the stuff as it happens with the new HOH. Be back again next Thursday with the actual eviction, and obviously, it should be a pretty good time. But yeah, I mean, thank you all for joining us. It was a pretty fun vote here, pretty fun eviction. Hopefully, this is a sign of a good season to come, but we'll have to wait and see. But yes, thank you so much for a good stream. See ya.